Nerdcast assemble!
Stay dandy, baby.
The next big battle in Deca-Dence is about to begin, and Natsume is going to be right in the crosshairs of the Gadoll. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another review of Deca-Dence, the most divisive anime of the entire season. A lot of people are still mixed on this show, not liking the big twist that was presented in the second episode of the series, but I, myself, am continuing to really enjoy the craziness that is going on within this show, and if you wanted a lot of action, then this is going to be the episode for you, as the first half of this episode was wholly devoted to the tankers just beating the ever-living shit out of the Gadoll monsters, and it was done with a lot of style and gusto. Natsume, in particular, was really awesome in this episode, and this one proved that the animation of this series is really damned good. I especially love the fact that Natsume has sort of realized her dream in this episode, because at the very beginning, everybody's fighting against the Gadoll, and some of them are straight up just getting murdered by these monsters in a very violent and unapologetic fashion. Natsume at first is, of course, really freaked out over this, but she collects herself, she goes into battle, and she just absolutely dominates, catching the attention of the strongest tanker, Kurenai, which for her is kind of like meeting Babe Ruth, the best player on the team. It was a big moment for her because not only did she impress them, but she actually bolstered their strength, allowing them to move forward and to kick some more Gadoll ass. And again, this is just one of those scenes that I can't quite do justice. You kind of have to see it for yourself, but trust me when I say that it's pretty freaking awesome. So she manages to impress Kurenai to the point where Kurenai actually wants to make her a official gear. What's really great about this scene is that Kurenai is so impressed by what Natsume has done that she actually wants her to become a member of the Power. She wants her to become a soldier and join them in their long-going battle against the Gadoll. Of course, Natsume is totally on board for all of this, but Kaburagi, of course, is not. And a lot of that is because we get this big twist in this episode where we get to see that the Solid Quake company is getting ready to set up like this big event, which they pretty much like portray as kind of like a big like sort of like video game styled event. It's like something that gets like hyped up in say like a game like Fortnite. And it's really funny because of the way that it's actually presented, but basically what's going on here is they're getting ready to have this battle in a Gadoll nest, which supposedly could save mankind. Now, of course, this is complete bullshit because we know that they've went up against these nests multiple times, and it usually results in the deaths of many people. So, essentially here, Kaburagi realizes that no matter what, they're going to go into this battle, they think they're going to win, and they're going to end up going up against a super-powered Gadoll, which is just going to wipe out all of them. And basically, the game is going to start over yet again. And this is why he's so scared for Natsume, knowing that she's finally joined this group and that she's going to be going into battle. He desperately tries to get her to not go through with this, but of course, she's not going to do this at all. She even decides to join the group, joining up with this group of triplets who look really freaking disturbing, I have to say. Maybe it's the weird paint that's under their eyes, but they freak me the hell out. They look like freaking characters from the Road Warrior. In fact, most of the actual gears do look like that as well, but that's beside the point. But by the end of the episode, we of course get to learn that this is basically set up by Solid Quake so that a lot of these humans are going to get killed, and that essentially we're just going to be starting the game over at another point here. Of course, Natsume decides to go along with the plan, much to the horror of Kaburagi, as the episode ends with a lot of tension. So, what's the rundown on this episode of Deca-Dence? I really liked this one a lot. It was great to finally see Natsume, fight with some of her people that she's looked up to for so long, and the fact that it was done with some really nice animation helped too. I mean, I loved the action sequences at the beginning of this episode. They were solid as all hell. And it really helps, too, that the Gadoll have a number of really weird-looking forms, so that it always makes it when you're battling against them, they get to try different things with the way that the characters move around and animate with their weird floating backpacks and the cool weapons that they're using. And the enemies are always really unique. In fact, I cannot wait to see what this nest Gadoll is going to look at. They sort of, like, build it up a little bit in this episode with the fact that it's just going to wipe out anyone, and there's no way that any of the soldiers are going to be able to take it down. So I can't wait to see what it's actually going to be capable of. In fact, we even got to see one of the new Gadoll in this episode, which was like this weird armadillo insect creature which rolls around and it just destroys all of these guys, man. But it's when Natsume comes in and starts helping them out and Kurenai comes in and just like slays this thing. The action in this episode, guys, like, I truly did love it. It kind of gave me vibes of watching something like, say, Attack on Titan, the way that the characters actually move, kind of like how they're sort of like when they move through the city and everything. They kind of do the same thing here when they're actually fighting against the monsters, just sort of dodging like all of their attacks, their teeth, their tentacles, their claws, and it's done with just such a great style, and it all looks really damn smooth. So yeah, I just can't wait for this coming battle, and I love that we're getting like a change of scenery. Before, we've always been sort of like in the desert or in some sort of like rocky region. Now we're like in the Arctic. Now we're got snow. It's got a completely different look and feel to it. And then of course, completely different feel. Every time they go back to the cyborg people, it's such a shift. I'm still not 100% used to it because the art styles are just so drastically different. But the fact that these cyborgs were created by mankind is worth bringing up. But again, I just want to see where ultimately the story is going to be headed. There's still a lot of mystery to the world as well. But otherwise, I thought this was a really solid action type of episode and a nice big build-up to finally seeing Natsume join the people she's looked up to for so long and to go into battle with them. And now that there's these high stakes with the fact that they're all going to potentially be killed, only just amplifies that tension all the bit more. So, great action, solid characterization, fantastic production value. This was one hell of an episode of Deca-Dence, which is why I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. I'd love to get your thoughts about it. You can tell me all of them in the comment section below. Are you gelling with Deca-Dence yet? Do you still going to stick through with the weird and crazy series? Do you think that Natsume and her entire team are going to be completely wiped out by this superpowered Gadoll monster? Is Kaburagi going to have to step in? Could there be another twist? Let's talk about all of that in this episode in the comment section below. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. If you guys did like this video, maybe hit that like button. It would help out this video tremendously, allow more people to see it. I'd really appreciate it. I would also like to thank all of my patrons. You guys are awesome. You've been checking out my Patreon page. You can be giving me donations, and of course, a lot of great feedback on all of my videos and how I can improve my content. Can't thank you guys enough. All the people, all these names that you see on screen, these guys are awesome, and you can join this group. If you make a small donation to my Patreon, I'll review an anime series of your choice, as well as including you on this list of super amazing people. So thank you guys so much for checking out this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay dandy, baby.